What's up, YouTube? Thomas L here, with Mark Ruffalo reprising his role as Bruce Banner in Avengers Endgame. I decided to do my top 10 favorite Mark Ruffalo movies. I mean, how on earth does this guy not have an Oscar on his mantle is still beyond me, because the guy's a terrific actor and he's been in some pretty good stuff over the years. So, that being said, here's my 10 favorite Mark Ruffalo movies. Coming in at number 10 is a film called Thanks for Sharing. In the film, Mark Ruffalo plays a guy named Adam who, of course, just reached the 5-year mark in his sex education sobriety with the help from his sponsor named Mike, played by Tim Robbins. And you got a newcomer named Neil, played by Josh Gad, who seeks out Adam's help, hoping that he'll be his mentor as well. And of course, he ends up falling for a woman played by Gwyneth Paltrow, who, of course, might be perfect for him. But of course, Adam has been in a relationship since he recognized his addiction to sex, and so when of course Penelope, played by Paltrow, doesn't really date addicts, and so as Adam of course navigates the romantic relationships, you got Mike of course struggles connecting to his former drug addicted son who of course just returned home, and of course Neil ends up developing a relationship with another woman in his sex addiction group. By the way, the woman that Josh Gad's character falls in love with is, believe it or not, played by Pink. So yeah, Pink was actually really solid in this. I mean, I was surprised at how good Pink was in this. Maybe kind of wish to see maybe Pink in more films, because she was really good here. And Thanks for Sharing, I thought it was, of course, a movie about addiction, and we've seen lots of those before, but we don't really see many movies about sex addiction, I noticed. And this movie has lots of heart to it. It was pretty funny. Mark Ruffalo, he was great, and of course, Gwyneth Paltrow, who's of course in the MCU as well. She was terrific. Josh Gad had a good chemistry with Pink. It's a really funny little film. I mean, if you guys never had a chance to check out Thanks for Sharing, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Coming in at number 9 is 13 Going on Dirty. Now, in this, of course, it's where a 13-year-old who of course wishes she was older ends up pretty much becoming a 30-year-old. And of course she of course ends up falling for her childhood best friend Matt, played by Mark Ruffalo, and of course Mark Ruffalo's Matt's character is a boy that she actually thought destroyed her party, but when she finds him, he's like all grown up, and he's a very different person than he was when he was young. But believe it or not, Brie Larson is also in this too. So pretty much, Avengers Endgame has a 13 Going on Dirty reunion, which pretty cool. But anyway, 13 Going on Dirty, I thought was a really cute and charming love film. Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo both had good chemistry with one another. I mean, Mark Ruffalo, he goes from being not so much a likable character to becoming a likable character. And I guess you could say this movie was also similar to Big and Shazam and as well as Little in a way. Yeah, it's of course a movie about growing up and adulthood, and I thought this movie was really cute and charming. It's a really good love film. All right, coming in at number 8. All right, coming in at number 8 is, of course, Now You See Me. Now You See Me is really good. Like, it's pretty much kind of like the Ocean movies, but with magic in a way. And of course, you got Mark Ruffalo as like a federal agent, and Melanie Laurent is the Aaron Poole detective who, like in it, you got magicians played by Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, who of course steal millions of dollars, and of course Mark Ruffalo's federal agent character has to track down the stolen goods. Mark Ruffalo had some pretty good scenes in those. I think Mark Ruffalo was great. Of course, Woody Harrelson was great. Melanie Laurent was really good. The first Now You See Me was terrific. I was surprised by how good that first Now You See Me was because I thought the film was not going to be all that great. But then I saw it and I was like, that wasn't so bad. Definitely a cool premise and has lots of cool magic to it. But the sequel also came around, and the sequel to me I thought was terrible. I did not like the sequel one bit. But the first film is really good, and even though the sequel stunk, I'll be down to see a third one because it'll be cool seeing these characters back again. And yeah, Mark Ruffalo, he was really great here. All right, coming in at number 7 is Spotlight. Now here, of course, Mark Ruffalo plays one of the reporters, Micah Rendez. And of course, the film takes place in 2001 and is about editor Marty Barron of Boston Globe, who assigns a team of journalists to investigate allegations against John Gilligan, who's a unfrocked priest accused of molesting more than 80 boys in us. And of course, they had to uncover the truth. And the movie actually won Best Picture, which Spotlight was good. I still didn't think it should have won Best Picture, to be honest with you. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I like the movie, but as Best Picture, I still think probably maybe Room should have won that year. But hey, Spotlight was still good. And it has a few good camera people in this. Like you also had Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams was in this, Liev Schreiber. Some really good actors appear in this, and they were really great here. And it's crazy that this stuff really happens, and it's hard to believe that this movie is based on a true story, but it really is. And it's a shame that stuff like this still happens. But if you guys never seen Spotlight, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Of course, the subject matter is a little intense, to be honest with you, but the movie itself was pretty good. Anyway, my number 6 favorite is Begin Again. In the film, Keira Knightley plays a woman named Greta who heads to New York with her songwriting partner and lover named Dave, played by Adam Levine. And so because when Dave ends up landing a record deal with a major label, Greta is suddenly left on her own when Dave gives into the temptations that come with his newfound success. So he pretty much dumps her, really. And so things takes a turn for better for her when Dave, played by Mark Ruffalo, who's a disgraced recording executive, discovered Greta performing in a club, and of course they work on on Greta's first album together. Then there's there's also a relationship with Mark Ruffalo and his daughter, played by Haley Steinfeld. You also had Catherine Keener as Mark Ruffalo's ex-wife. CeeLo Green was in this. He was pretty good. The movie was directed by the guy who directed Sing Street, which I love Sing Street, by the way. And Begin Again is critically underrated. It's got good reviews and all, but it's not really a movie a lot of people really talk about as much. It's a really good film. It has good music to it. The chemistry between Knightley and Ruffalo sells the movie. I really appreciate this film. It's a really good love film. My number 5 favorite will be Thor Ragnarok. The Coliseum scene with Hulk and Thor was really cool to watch. And Mark Ruffalo, I think he's great as Bruce Banner. Of course, there's been other actors who have played Bruce Banner as well, like Ed Norton, Eric Bana, and of course Lou Ferrigno. But Mark Ruffalo brings such a high profile as that character, and he brings so much charisma as that character, and he plays that character really well. And I like the interaction between both Hulk and Thor. Their chemistry sells this movie so much. And yeah, Thor Ragnarok period is just an awesome movie. I really loved it. Alright, coming in at number 4 is Zodiac. Now, this film also had Robert Downey Jr., so we pretty much seen Tony Stark and Bruce Banner before the MCU started. And of course, Zodiac is about the infamous investigation of the Zodiac Killer. And Mark Ruffalo, of course, plays one of the investigators signed on to the case, while Jake Gyllenhaal and Robert Downey Jr. plays one of the reporters here. I mean, it's crazy how that they never caught the Zodiac Killer out of all these years. I mean, that's pretty crazy to hear. But anyway, Zodiac is a really great movie. I kind of already said this, but to me, it's probably David Fincher's best work. I really love this movie. It is really intense at times. It leaves you guessing, and good performances by Ruffalo, by Downey Jr. Gyllenhaal was great. Such a really fantastic movie. And of course, years later, Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr. ended up in the MCU. So, my number 3 favorite will be Collateral. Now, here, of course, Mark Ruffalo plays an LAPD detective who's on the trail of the two leads played by Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. Because in it, Jamie Foxx plays a LA taxi driver named Max who is about to knock off when who ends up taking a sharp suited guy named Vincent who offers him 600 to make 5 stops, and of course it turns out that Vincent is of course a hitman, and each one of the stops involves a hit. And yeah, and of course, Jamie Foxx's Max character wants to see the light of day, so he must do what Vincent says, or else you know what happens there. Collateral is fantastic. It's a great crime thriller. Tom Cruise, I believe this was his first ever villain role, and Tom Cruise as the villain was perfect. Jamie Foxx was great. I really like Mark Ruffalo as the FBI agent. He was not FBI, but LA detective, I should say. Mark Ruffalo was great. I mean, he always plays some sort of detective or FBI agent. I always noticed that. I mean, I can't even record Mark Ruffalo ever playing a villain. Gotta double check his filmography, because I can never really recall if he ever played a bad guy before. Like, almost a lot of his films, does he always plays an FBI agent or, DEA agent or whatever, and hey, he does his stuff, he plays it really well. And yeah, Collateral, I really love this movie. To me, it's probably Michael Mann's best film. I know lots of people probably say The Insider or something around that lines, but me, it'll be Collateral. I really love this film. My number 2 favorite will be The Avengers. I mean, of course, Mark Ruffalo made his Hulk debut in The Avengers. Of course, the Hulk actually had his debut, but it was in The Incredible Hulk, which was played by Ed Norton. That Hulk in The Incredible Hulk is pretty much Mark Ruffalo's Hulk we have now, but with just a different actor. But I still, some part of me still wish Ed Norton still played the role, but Mark Ruffalo still played it pretty well. Like, he's a really great Hulk. And he plays both Hulk and Bruce Banner really well. Believe it or not, the one who actually voices the Hulk, because when Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, believe it or not, Lou Ferrigno who played the Hulk on TV. He's actually the voice of the Hulk in the movies. So there's a little tidbit for you there. Anyway, yeah, Mark Ruffalo, I really love him as his character, and can't wait to see him back as Bruce Banner in Endgame. Should be interesting to watch. 2 more days. Alright, my number 1 favorite Mark Ruffalo movie of all time, believe it or not, is the one I think Mark Ruffalo probably could have won an Oscar for. And that is Foxcatcher. not only Mark Ruffalo, but I think Steve Carell should have won his Oscar for this too. Steve Carell was menacing in this movie. He was not the Steve Carell you know of. I mean, here, of course, Steve Carell plays a wealthy John DuPont who invites like an Olympic wrestler named Mark Schultz, played by Channing Tatum, to move to his estate and help form a wrestling team for the 1988 Olympics. And of course, Mark sees a way to step out of the shadow of his charismatic brother named Dave, played by Mark Ruffalo. But of course, DuPont ends up leading Mark down to a dark road, causing problems, and yeah, something happens with Dave throughout the film. That's DuPont does a little something to him, which I don't know how many people still. It's based on a true story, but yeah, if you guys seen Foxcatcher, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Foxcatcher is a terrific movie. It's very intense. I mean, it's really a movie I probably can't really watch over and over. But that being said, it's still a really good film. It had good performances by Mark Ruffalo, by Sienna Miller was in this, Vanessa Redgrave, Steve Carell got an Oscar nomination. I think he should have won. Channing Tatum was terrific here. I mean, anyone who smash talks Channing Tatum, do yourself a favor. Watch Foxcatcher, because it'll change your opinions on how good Channing Tatum could be. Yeah, Foxcatcher is a really terrific movie. It's really great. Good performances all around. Bennett Miller did a great job at directing. Such a fantastic little film. And I believe the film scored an Oscar nomination for Best Picture, if I'm not mistaken. Gotta double check that, but I know for sure Channing Tatum and I think Mark Ruffalo got nominated as well. But yeah, Foxcatcher is crazy that this movie is based on a true story. Like, crazy that this really happened, but really did, which is nuts. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Number 10, Thanks for Sharing. 9, 13 Going on Dirty. 8, Now You See Me. 7, Spotlight. 6, Begin Again. 5, Thor Ragnarok. 4, Zodiac. 3, Collateral. 2, The Avengers. 1, Foxcatcher. Now, the guy's been in so much other stuff over the years. Let me pull up his credit list. Mark Ruffalo. If you guys watch the weird trailers of the Avengers, you kind of will get what I'm talking about when I say Mark Ruffalo's name like that. You guys should check out those weird shows. They're really fun to watch. Anyway, now back to Ruffalo's films. Of course, Infinity War, he was great in. Turn of Sunshine, The Normal Heart, Just Like Heaven with Reese Witherspoon was decent. You Can Count on Me, In the Cut with Meg Ryan, Infinitely Polar Bear. He was terrific in that movie. Wasn't that great of a film, but he was. If I was to do best Ruffalo performances, Infinitely Polar Bear probably would have been in the top 10. Let's see. Where the Wild Thing he was in. I forgot he was in Date Night. I really like that movie. Date Night also has Steve Carell in it, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite Mark Ruffalo movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Tom Sells signing off.